Randy Schinkel. I'm sorry, Schnickley. Schnickel? I'm sorry, Randy. Forgive me. One of those, I feel. How come most conservative voices don't argue this reason why there was not a party switch? For those of you, let me finish the question. I'll come back. The NRA was founded by Republicans. Therefore, if there was a party switch as the Democrats charge, why is the present-day Democratic Party against the NRA and for gun control? Good argument. One of many good arguments. The party switch idea is what the Democrats use to get away from their own history. All of their tracks and all of their errors and all of their murders and all of their oppression and all of their just plain failure cannot ever be talked about, because then people start asking questions. So it has to be buried or explained away. The Republican Party was founded to stop slavery in America. They were, for the first 4 or 5 years of the party, they were called the Black Republicans for their sympathy towards slaves in the South. People talk about the Confederacy and slavery, and all of these liberals are hyperventilating about the Confederate flag and so on, when in point of fact, the Confederacy was nothing more or less than the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party lost the election to Abraham Lincoln. The slaveholders were all Democrats, and so the Democratic Party left the Union and became the Confederacy. Not all of them, but not all of them. Let me see if I get this right. Not all of the Democrats went in the South, but everybody that went in the South was a Democrat. So there's that. So then you've got the Democrats basically arguing for perpetuation of slavery. In 1864, you've got George McClellan running for the Democrats saying, why don't we just call the whole Civil War a kind of a draw? We'll just pretend it didn't happen, and the southern states can come back into the Union with their slaves. And it was the Democrats who were all the people that invented things like the Jim Crow laws. The Democrats in the South were the ones that put segregation in place. The Democrats were the ones who formed the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrats were the ones who turned the fire hoses and set loose the dogs on black girls trying to go to school. Those are all Democrats. And unfortunately, history records that this is true. The first black representative was a Republican. First black senator was a Republican. First black speaker of the House was a Republican. You can't have that out there because people start asking questions. So when you finally are able to corner them on this, and you just simply have, when I say corner them, I mean really corner them. There really is no place for them to run. They have to get the claws out. They'll say, well, yes, okay, all that's true, but that's before the party switched sides. What? Yeah, all the conservatives, the Republicans changed their strategy and went for the conservatives in the South, and so all of the people that were formerly racists left the Democratic Party and became Republicans, and all of the people who were awesome for freedom and black people left the Republican Party and became Democrats, which strikes me as a little bit unlikely. You're basically saying we're winning this thing by 75 points, and we go into the locker room at halftime and we change jerseys just because we feel like it. I didn't get that memo. Something did change, and it wasn't the Republican strategy for the South. What changed was the Democratic strategy. And it changed very quickly, and it changed from Washington. And it changed for the most cynical of reasons. You can understand the entire change, the whole change sides thing can be boiled down to one moment on an airplane when Lyndon Johnson, President Johnson, says, I'm going to have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. He didn't say N-words because that's how he thought of and thinks of black people. But that was it in a nutshell. There was the argument. He knew that the Democrats were never going to win again, that the numbers in the South were against him and so on. And so he willfully decided, very consciously decided, we're going to change strategy. We're going to start handing stuff out to these people that we were just hosing down not too long ago. We're going to start handing them stuff. Somebody did the math or something and realized, if you could give people things, make them dependent on you, then you would, in fact, have those people voting for you for 200 years, and he's been right so far. So that was the switch. The switch wasn't that the Republicans just suddenly got racist. The switch was the Democrats decided that they could not win elections without black people, and so Lyndon Johnson took the the Democratic Party to a place where their entire strategy came down to, we have to buy votes. We just have to buy them. And how are we going to buy them? Well, we're going to buy them with entitlements. You know, we're going to buy them with entitlements. The distribution system's already in place because there are black community leaders who are going to come here, and we're going to give them a big hunk of money, and they're going to take it back to their community. They're going to keep a fair amount of it, half or something like that. And the other half they'll just hand out to people. They get to be big man on campus. People see the largesse coming from them and the great white father in Washington. And pretty soon, people are voting the way everybody else pretty much votes. Urban black America started voting rationally. That was the rational thing to do. And it may sound like, yes, it was a terrible mistake, and it was, and we see the consequences of that every day. But number one, they didn't have the consequences in front of them when they just did it, when they started taking these handouts. Some people saw it, but those people were vilified no matter what color their skin was. But it was a rational decision, because if you're poor and somebody offers you a free check, virtually everybody will take it. And it's very hard to imagine people who won't. You have to have remarkable... If you have the kind of strength of character and commitment to morals and understanding of history, so much so that you, despite your dire need, you refuse a check from the government, then you're not the kind of person who's likely to end up poor anyway. So that's basically it. This whole switch sides thing's just a lie. You need to call them on it, and you need to remind them of who did it, and you need to use the language that he used when he made this decision. One more.